Hey, it's Peter again with Harp Industries. It's Wednesday, July 21st, 2010. Just giving you guys a little update, progress report, or lack thereof. I built another Shadow Harp. Um it's pretty cool. It still isn't working as well as I would like it to, but um, basically, as you can tell, it is fatter, or taller, I should say, than the old one. That alters the geometry of the array, the sensor array relative to the pinhole. It makes for a tighter arc, and it minimizes spherical aberration. I figured that by using a taller case, I could minimize the difference in the length between the pinhole and the sensor, the middle sensor, and the pinhole and the side sensors. If you have a really shallow case, your middle sensor is going to be really close to the pinhole, whereas your sensors off on the side are going to be like a mile away from the pinhole, and that's going to create this really skewed difference in the amount of light that comes through and is received by each sensor. The sensor in the middle is going to get a whole bunch of light, and the sensor on the sides, the sensors on the sides are going to get practically nothing. So I figured this way it's more uniform. But that's the main difference externally. Internally, there's a few differences as well. First of all, I built this on a perf board rather than a solderless breadboard. I really love those solderless breadboards. They are so easy, quick and easy to just prototype a circuit. But I wanted this to be, more solid. So I soldered this up. It took quite a while. Otherwise, it's pretty much identical to the old one. Arduino Nano microcontroller. Got a piece of black electrical tape on top of it to cover up the onboard LEDs, so there's no light, stray light bouncing around inside of the case. These wires go over here to the cadmium sulfide photoresistors, and their accompanying ceramic capacitors. These are 100 picofarad ceramic capacitors, and I'm using them to read the sensors in a capacitive discharge method. So the microcontroller will send a high or a 1 voltage to each capacitor, charge it up, and then turn around and read it continuously, wait and see how long it takes for that capacitor to discharge through the photosensor. And if it discharges very quickly, then that means the resistance of the photoresistor is low, which means a lot of light is hitting it. If it takes a long time to discharge, it means the resistance is high, which means there's not a lot of light hitting it. So you can actually you can notice that when you have the cover on, you put your finger on the hole, it maxes out the amount of time that it takes to read those sensors. And conversely, you take the cover off, you get a bunch of light on there, and it's like instantly they're discharging. So 100 picofarad is about right for this particular case. We have a MIDI jack on there, DIN 5, of which, even though there's 5 connectors, there's only 3 of them are used, power, ground, and signal. And we have a ubiquitous piezoelectric speaker. Now, this system works fairly well, but it's still not 100% reliable, and it works better in some conditions than in others. For instance, since it's a passive system, it senses shadows, so it has to have contrast. So say there's a light above you, you can move your hand in front of the light, and you see how obvious that is. Light, light, no light. Well, that's easy for it to see. But say your hand happens to be somewhere where there isn't a whole lot of light, where it's pretty much the background is the same shade as your hand. And keep in mind, this thing can't see color, so it's just like gray. If it's the same shade of gray, it's not going to see that. And I think that's the problem, really, at this point, is being a passive system. You don't have that ability to actively ping, with light or whatever to see if there's something there. You have to just be reliant on kind of an educated guess as to whether there's something there. And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. When I make it really sensitive, it tends to just go off all the time. When I make it really insensitive, then it doesn't trigger the notes when you want it to. And that's something I'm struggling with. I've revised the code, I've made a lot of improvements, but it just doesn't seem to be cutting it yet. But I'm going to make some more improvements. Try putting a lens on here instead of the pinhole, and we'll see where it goes.